G'day viewers and welcome back to the channel. I just want to start today's video by saying about a year ago I started a video saying that I'd hit 20 subscribers. Well, good news, since then, as I said, a little over a year ago, that's tenfold. I've now hit 200 subscribers. I would love to be at 2,000, but let's see what happens next year. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Let's get into today's video. G'day viewers, welcome back. This time, let's put a top on that desk. Well, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I hope I can teach you something, you like what you see, and consider subscribing. Now, in previous videos, link up here, we put a desk frame together. Now it's time to put a top on it. Now, this desk is not going to be your typical desk, but it's going to start off that way. So, let's just get into the top. Now, the unfortunate part about this build is I have a 4-foot long 3-in-1 sheet metal bender, guillotine and roller. No, that's not the unfortunate part. The unfortunate part, that's in a shipping container on the other side of town, so I can't use it. So for the top, I had to outsource that to, well, my regular supplier, Shelley's Industries. Not only are they providers of hardware, metric, standard, you name it, welding supplies, trailer parts and materials, their main focus is on building steel ute trays. They've been doing this for nearly 50 years. I'll link their website in the description below, so if you need a ute tray, give them a call. Say hello to Bruce. But what I went for was to get, not only supply the material for the desktop, but also to bend it to the shape that was required. I just gave him a simple design with some measurements. He knocked it out in a day, no problem. I need to put marks in the corners so we can drill out for the captive nuts to go into that. Drill this out first, because if you mark and drill holes here, where are you going to know where to put them? Drill them in that piece, place that on top, when you know exactly where to drill them. So I have my trusty scratch gauge set to 40mm. Just going to go around and one there, and another one there. There's our corner. Same on the other end. Ow, that's bright. Now the front edge is going to be a bit more difficult. We can't put a square on there because it's going to slip and move around and it won't be an accurate measurement. So that one, I'm going to measure from the underside. But again, I'm not going to use a ruler in here. I have a piece of 40mm angle. That's going to sit nicely into that corner. Then I can just, there we go. Okay, I've just placed it, clamped it just at the front there, just to check out and line up where my holes need to go. And I come across the back Notice this, it's all nice and flush along there, but along the side, start there, and yeah, it's the same on the other side, only opposite. It's level there, but by the time we get to the back, there's about a 4mm overhang. What's that tell me? The frame's not square. So what I'm going to need to do, well, is square up the frame. That won't be too difficult. As I said, these still need to come off. We can mess around with them because I haven't welded down here yet. I've only welded the top and bottom, so we can still twist that a little bit. I mean, that doesn't need to be a lot. So I just need to think and figure out the best way to do that. I could just run a strap across these two corners and pull them in. Or I could drill the holes here where they need to be, not where they're sitting right now, so align it and do all that each corner. Then when I go to screw it down, I can use the screws to hold it. That's not the best option because you're going to be putting a lot of pressure on the top piece and not a lot of pressure on the frame itself. The frame is exactly what it says, the frame. It's the base. Any dimensions we derive need to be derived from that. Any load bearing needs to go on that. If we just whack a few bolts in and square it up using the top, you're just going to twist and distort the top. That's not what we want. So, going to have to line that up somehow. Have a strap around the top, and that's brought that in nicely. I'll put this just on the edge. I'll move over. There we go, that's just on the edge. Not quite far enough, but I also have one on the bottom, and that's skewing the bottom end of the frame. That's going to move a lot more. I may have to remove a tack or two up the top here, just to relieve it, just so it, because if I release everything now, it's just going to go back to how it was. Nothing's been relieved. So, having said that, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Well, it's not too bad. It is out a little bit, but the bottom one's still attached. Let's just see what happens when we release this one. Bam! I saw a lot of spring back there. That's nice and even, kinda. Down here, no, so much. So yeah, I'm going to have to release these tacks here at the front and back. As I said, I have to pull them off anyway, but in pulling those off, I can then line it up so that this fits that, vice versa. I can put my captive nuts in, I can bolt it down, then I can weld these back on. Well, I've cut these two pieces out. They're just sitting in there at the moment. Before I cut them out, I put the top on and lined up from the front and lined this edge up. That gave me that point there. So I can put a captive nut in behind that now, and in behind there. And if you have a look here, put it straight down, that's not square. This edge is not square, so that's probably where most of my problem came from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this front piece back in square, then I'm going to put the back one in using this. Now eventually this will go in the middle, but that's going to be my spacer on the sides. As you can see at the moment, that's a tight fit in there. But I'll use that as a reference to give me my front to back measurement on both sides. But before I weld that in, I need to weld the captive nuts in the back. So let's get the front on, we'll go from there. I hate keyed chucks. Is exactly how I'm going to leave it for now. Wait till everything cools down, then we'll attack the back. Okay, well I've taken all the clamps off and it's actually looking pretty good. It's even there, kind of. This side looks pretty good too. It's mostly even. But I'm just going to take one of these bolts out. Okay, well that seems to be lined up okay. That should go back in alright. That seemed to work okay. So now we need to do that up the back. Is to put this centerpiece in. Now this side is going to be the light box and it's going to be square. So I've got some marks there at around 604. Pop that in there. Double check it. That needs to go that way a bit. Get there. I'm going to clamp that, double check it, and then I'm just going to put a tack on each of those. And now that that's done, I'm going to use my marker to mark each side of that. We're going to take this off and know exactly where this piece is. that's another milestone hit. 2. Still have a long way to go though. Next time, that nice top we just installed, we're going to start chopping it up. Make sure you tune in for that one. Thanks everyone for watching. If you learned something, if you like what you saw, hit that like button down below. While you're there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when the next one's coming. And I'll see you on the next one.